Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to our topic lesson today. So we've been obviously looking at ancient Greece over the last few weeks, and we're going to carry on with that today. So today's LO is to sequence the events of the Battle of Marathon. And then I've got today's date, which sorry I forgot to put on, is Friday the 29th of January. Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking at, one of the main battles during ancient Greece. So this main battle, or the Battle of Marathon, it was between two of the major cities, one of the big city-states in the ancient Greek Empire. So we've got Athens was one of them here, and Sparta, the other one here. So this is just an image of kind of the ancient Greece and what they owned kind of thing. And here we've got Athens and here is Sparta, the two main cities. And these were the cities that took part in the Battle of Marathon. So we're just going to have a look at the two cities first. So we've got Athens. So Athens was ruled by a democracy and believed a city that should be run fairly. So it was democracy, and it's like a group of people who decide. Okay, they believed in education, but only for boys. So girls were not allowed an education. The Athenians wanted to expand their lands, which led to many battles. Okay, so they were kind of greedy in the sense that they wanted more, always wanting more, but it led to a lot of battles, so therefore a lot of deaths. Okay, women and girls didn't have the right to an education and could not participate in business. Wealthy girls could be educated at home. Okay, so that's Athens back in ancient Greece. That's what they were like. Sparta, on the other hand, was ruled by two kings who made all of the decisions. So no democracy, two people that made all of the decisions for Sparta. Okay, they were famous in ancient Greece because they were so powerful. They were raised to be in the army. Okay, so boys would learn to train from a young age, and it was very strict. So they focused a lot on fighting and battling and trained them from a very young age to get such a powerful army. So Sparta did not try and invade other cities or other lands. So unlike Athens, it did the opposite. Okay, it wasn't greedy. It didn't want to take all of these different cities or invade other lands. Okay, even though it had a very good army with lots of powerful warriors. Okay, and then women were not allowed to join the army, but had to train to be fit and healthy. So women were still fit and healthy, however, they were still not allowed to join the army. So what I want you to do here is write down for me, which do you think you would rather be a part of? Would you rather be part of the Spartan city or the Athenian city? Okay, and just a little sentence in your book for me. Say I would rather be part of Sparta or Athens, and then say why. Tell me why. So because I'd be a really powerful warrior if you were Sparta, kind of thing. Um, those kind of things. So tell me who you'd rather be with and why. Okay, so moving on, we're going to focus more now onto the Battle of Marathon. So in 490 BC, the Persian Empire was very big. King Darius wanted to continue to expand the empire, so he decided to invade Athens. Okay, so the commander, Datis, and his fleet of 25,000 sailed to Marathon, which was a few miles from Athens. Okay, so the Persian Empire were coming to Athens to try and take it over. So the Athenian army was massively outnumbered. There were loads in the Persian Empire. So help. The Athenians needed to ask for some help. So they decided to ask Spartans. But obviously these two were very big enemy cities. So although they often fought against each other, when they were faced with an outside enemy, the two Greek cities, so Sparta and Athens, they joined together. They joined forces. The Spartan army was very famous and would have been very useful to the Athenians. So they sent a runner, this guy, Phidippides, to Sparta to ask. He ran for 2 whole days and nights from Athens all the way to Sparta, running a total of 240 kilometers. Crazy amount of running, okay, all to get some help from Sparta. And then when he got there, the Spartans were celebrating a festival. And so they said that they would help them, but only once the festival was over. Okay, so then he ran all the way back to Athens with the news that they would need to wait. So what I want you to do now then is I want you to, if you have a look in this bottom right corner here, I want you to do a role play the conversation between Athenians and the Spartans. Why didn't the Spartans help? How do the Athenians feel about the Spartans' reasons for not helping? So I want you to write a conversation between them. So you're going to do a little dialogue for me. It only needs to be brief, only like 2-3 lines for each person, maybe 4 lines for each person. Make sure you're including correct punctuation when you do this. So your speech marks, your punctuation before your speech marks, including a new line for each time somebody new speaks. Okay, so you're just going to choose a random Athenian person, a random Spartan person, and they're going to have a quick dialogue about why the Spartans didn't help them. How would they feel? So you might say, why did you not help us? That might be the first kind of a line. And they say, because of the festival. And then you can say, well, I'm really annoyed at you because of this, blah, 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 blah. We need help, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to expand on that, okay? And then as a challenge for you, act it out, your conversation, if you want. You know, do both sides of the acting, both sides of the conversation, and send in the videos. It'd be great for you. Okay, so hopefully you've given that a go now, and you should have completed that little dialogue for me. And now we're just going to focus more on the Battle of Marathon itself. So the Athenian army, led by the general Miltiades, tried to wait for the Spartan army, but knew they would have to fight on their own. He had to come up with a plan. Heavily outnumbered, Miltiades decided on a risky battle formation. He knew Datis would put his strongest fighters in the middle, so the Miltiades put his strongest hoplites, so his strongest soldiers, on the edge, on the flanks, the side of his army. He also knew that the Persian had archers, so instructed the men to charge quickly at the enemy to avoid the arrows. Surprise! The Persians were shocked at this strategy, and Athenian hoplites, Athenian soldiers, quickly ran past the line of arrows flying towards them. They charged straight at the Persians. The stronger fighters on the flanks quickly attacked the much weaker Persian soldiers on their flanks. Okay, so the strong Athenian army destroyed the Persian soldiers who were on the outside first because they were the weaker soldiers. This left the Athenians free to close in and trap the rest of the Persian army. The remaining Persians then ran away to their ships. Okay, so the Athenians looked like they won it. The Persian army lost over 6,000 soldiers compared to only 192 Athenians, so they've absolutely dominated this battle. He ran the 26 miles to Athens to tell the story of their victory and also to warn them of a possible second Persian attack. He shouted out, "Joy to you, we've won." And as he said those words, he died. Okay, probably because of all the running he did. So what I want you to do now is you're going to make a little storyboard for me, ordering the events of what happened. So it's going to look something like this. You can do a little picture, a little bit of information below for me. Okay, so it's just a simple storyboard of what happened in the Battle of Marathon. So you'll start, for example, you might start all the way back at what happened here. So the Persian Empire, them invading, talk about the runner, how he ran all that way to going, tell them this information, tell them that they then got turned down because they were having a festival, and so they had to get on with the battle anyway. Tell them how they won the battle, so they used their strongest fighters to go around the flanks, and the Persian army had their best fighters in the middle, so tell them how they did that. Tell them how it worked. Was it effective? Did it go well? Tell me maybe some numbers about how many the Persian army lost and how many the Athenians lost. Okay, so you're just going to make a little storyboard ordering the events that happened. Okay, thank you very much, Year 5. I've just put these here for you. I'm not going to read through them all because they're a lot of effort to read through. So here is just the events that happened, and they are in order, but I want you to do this before you look at this, please. This is just here to mark your answer for you. Okay, thank you very much, Year 5. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you later for our live lesson.